This is a HeadGum podcast.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check that you download some handsome episodes in advance when you're going on a long flight with no Wi-Fi. Let us keep you company up there in the sky. Checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Handsome, chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod. Chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod.
Pretty little episode.
Welcome to a pretty little episode of the Handsome Pod. I'm one of your hosts, Mae Martin, joined by the handsome
Tig Notaro. It's me, Mae.
It's me, Tig.
Hey.
Hey.
I see you're still in Toronto.
Yep, still here in my parents' basement.
Oh,
Yep,
you're at your parents'?
Not in this moment, but I sleep in their basement. Yeah, and they have a Murphy bed, and they love that Murphy bed, man.
I love a Murphy bed. You don't like a Murphy bed?
No, I love it too, but not the way they love it. Like, they are just electrified.
Tell me.
Oh, they're just like, we unfolded the Murphy bed, and when you're not here, we fold it up.
Well, isn't that just letting you know that the Murphy bed is down or up? Is that really truly a love affair with a Murphy bed?
It's the look on their face that they are electrified.
Let me see the look. Huh?
It's like that.
Okay.
Sparkly.
And is it comfortable, the Murphy bed?
It's super comfortable, and it's like a sensory deprivation chamber down there in the basement. It's like no light, no sound, and just kind of on the wall they have framed my shiatsu massage diploma, like their proudest moment.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Is that your choice that you sleep in the basement on the Murphy bed? Is there another room? Is this the house you grew up in?
No, they only got it like 15 years ago, and it's the only room. I think I could get a hotel, but it's been nice. I've been in Toronto like once a month doing this edit, and it's been nice eating home cooked food and
Who's the
talking
cook?
about the Murphy bed. My dad. Oh my God, he's such a good cook.
What's his specialty? British
food, so roasts and but he'll like a nice piece of fish that he'll just cook it so well, and he does like roasted broccoli that is really nice. And I'm not making it sound good, but he really is.
Listen, I am a huge broccoli fan.
Me too, Tig. And isn't it crazy how when you roast it, Tig, it takes on a whole new flavor, Tig.
Roasting will do that.
Yeah.
And then do you enjoy cauliflower, or are you okay.
Love cauliflower.
We have found a common
ground.
Yeah, common ground, like a
Finally.
food. Yeah, finally we can talk. No, I just, I feel like broccoli gets such a bad rap. Maybe it's just for children, that maybe I'm just hanging out in the world of small children. I mean, my kids like broccoli, but I do feel like people are like, I was just at a dinner a few nights ago, and part of the dinner was broccoli. And I looked around, so many people push their broccoli to the side.
Are you serious? Come on, guys, grow up.
And I was going to say, and these were adults. And I truly wanted to be like, can I have your broccoli? Like, are you really not going to eat? To me, that is yum stuff.
It's the classic veg. And also, I feel like now in restaurants and stuff, like you never get just a side of broccoli. It's always broccolini or like something special. I just want your standard broc. I want like
I don't have a problem with broccolini. I'll be honest with you. You have a hang up on broccolini?
No, I like it too, but I love a hearty head of broc.
Yeah. Do you like it raw ever?
Sure. Yeah. I'd have it raw.
Yeah. You don't care. You just want your broccoli. Yeah.
Yeah. And then now Brussels sprouts very trendy in restaurants.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, roasted sprouts.
And have we talked about this? But the majority of the nutritional content is in the stem of broccoli.
Okay, that rings a bell, but it's blown my mind again.
Okay.
If you've already told me that, that's crazy because you'd think that the darkest green would be.
It's not true. It is
Wow.
it's the stem there. So eat your
Wow.
broccoli stems.
Eat your
And
broccoli stems.
yes, marnin fruit. Is that what you were referencing? Is marnin fruit? I
Marnin
think I
fruit.
wrote a hit song.
Yeah, I think you did too. I've had people come up to me after shows and sing your song about morning fruit.
Wow. And then speaking of hit songs, how's your music going?
Oh, thanks. Good, thanks. Yeah,
Oh,
I got 2 new songs coming out actually soon. Um, which would be
coming
like
out.
like in June, and it would be like a deluxe edition of the album that I already put
Oh,
out. I think this is like the way they do it to trick you into thinking the album sales have been better. They go, "Oh, you buy the album again with these 2 new songs." I shouldn't be saying this, but anyway, they're 2 more recent songs.
okay. So you did write them after. It wasn't something you held on to and then later decided to release.
No, I wrote them after. Yeah, I'm loving
Okay.
writing music right now.
And is there anything that inspired these two new songs?
Well, they're kind of breakup-y songs, but not necessarily about my breakup, just
Mm-hmm.
general. But
Mm-hmm.
then the other day I was
God, I hope
writing,
they're not about my breakup.
they're about your your
No,
breakup.
no, no.
I was playing the piano the other day and I thought, God, I'm really playing a beautiful song. And then I realized it was the song Beautiful by Christina Aguilera, and I was just stealing it.
And you were literally playing a beautiful song.
Pretty much, yeah, yeah. I was
Well,
like,
because
wow.
it's called Beautiful.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
that song was written by
Linda Perry.
yes, Tig. See, we are common ground today. Broccoli and Linda Perry.
That's right. Linda Perry lives in my neighborhood, and we
Really?
shuffle yeah, yeah. We shuffle. Maybe she moved because I think she had a breakup song in her life a
Oh
few years
shit.
ago. So maybe, yeah, when she and Sarah Gilbert split. I think Sarah
Oh my God, I forgot.
stayed in the neighborhood and Linda hit the road. Maybe. I don't know. I'm making that up. My apologies, Linda and Sarah. If anybody's listening or if anyone knows them, I will tell you an awkward thing that happened. Stephanie recently said, I saw this very beautiful home for sale online.
Mm.
And she said, after we drop Max and Finn, would you have any interest in driving past it? Not like we're looking to move or anything.
Yeah.
And she said, I think it's the most beautiful home I've ever seen.
Whoa.
I said, sure. We drop off our little cubs. We go find the house. It is 8 a.m. and we pull into a cul-de-sac. And who is pulling out of the driveway of the most beautiful home is Sarah Gilbert.
No.
I think she saw us, we saw her, and it was just this awkward feeling
Oh
of
my
like, good morning, Sarah.
yeah.
You know, like
We're
we know
scoping out
her, but we don't know her well enough to where we've been to her home.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was so, I don't know if I can quite explain the awkwardness of that
No,
early
I
in the
can.
morning, being trapped on a cul-de-sac just
Yeah.
with early morning lesbians, not knowing quite why.
Yeah.
Maybe she was like, oh, maybe Tig and Stephanie are interested in my home. But that
Yeah.
all goes back to Linda Perry. I feel like Sarah stayed in the neighborhood, and Linda. Now that I think about it, I probably haven't seen her in the past year.
I would, if I left my house at 8 a.m. and I saw you and Stephanie parked in a car across the street like vultures, I would be like,
Well, we
oh,
weren't parked in the car across the street. We were just looping around the cul-de-sac.
okay.
Yeah.
That I would explain away. Tig, would you ever, like, do you ever get inspired to write poetry? Do you have a sort of notebook in your bag and you might write down ideas, but then also once in a while you'd write down a couple lines of poetry?
I used to write poetry when I was
Yeah.
a kid, when I was a teen in my early 20s and that whole time. And boy, I've come across those poems, and I don't think that's my strength.
Right. Or
I
yeah.
really don't.
I would love if you ghost wrote a song for me. Like you send me the lyrics.
Well, what about morning fruit?
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
release morning fruit?
And do I have to do the accent?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Would I release it? I think you could sell it to an ad company and make $1
Mhm.
billion bucks. That's like an ad for, I don't know, oranges or something.
Okay. Anyone listening that
Yeah.
you need a jingle that goes a little like morning fruit, morning fruit. Don't forget to eat your morning fruit. Go
I
on,
love
chime
that.
in.
That rendition was so good.
I'm one of the best out there.
One of the all-time greats.
I'm not a poem writer.
Here, you say a line and then I'll do the rhyming couplet.
Okay. I love
Sort
a
of
couplet.
a line of poetry.
Okay. Sometimes I think of you.
Oh. but then I remember the things you do.
See? Yeah. And is that the end?
Yep. That's like a haiku. That's a breakup haiku.
I'll be honest. That is the first line of a poem of mine from my childhood that I came across where I said, sometimes I think of you, but then again, I always do.
Wait, that's beautiful. Why are you second guessing yourself? That's so much better than, because there's something so nice about being like sometimes, and then the reveal is always.
Always. You're always on my mind, as
Oh, I
Willie
love
Nelson
that.
once said.
Yeah. Should we hear what our listeners want to know?
I think we should. Just that will make this whole episode make sense.
Hi, Handsome Pod. My name is Kamala. I am a middle school music teacher. And my question for you is I'd like you to think back to your middle school years, think like ages 11 to 14, and share one really positive thing that came out of those years. I know there's probably a lot of negative things that come to mind for obvious reasons, but speaking as someone who deals with middle schoolers all day, every day, there is actually a lot of joy and positivity in those years as well. Bonus question, what is something you thought was really fashionable or like a funny hairstyle that you now look back on and think, what was I thinking?
Middle school teachers, that's doing the Lord's work.
Truly, though.
Yeah.
I mean, any teacher, whether it's like even a, daycare, elementary, junior high, high school, college, like swim instructors. When I sit, my kids learned to swim at their school.
Yeah.
And all the kids talking, laughing, kind of floating away and not paying attention. And the teachers that are so patiently
keeping
wrangling everyone and I'm just like, how do you do what you do? How?
I know.
How?
I mean, think about how exhausted we are after we do a show and have a meeting in a day. And these people are on their feet teaching hordes of children. Like, it's unreal. And middle school, shepherding people through puberty and, oh my God. Yeah, wow. That was a very visceral time for me.
Yeah. Those are the worst times of my life.
Maybe me too.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that you've hoisted the mainsail and all other sails that need hoisting when embarking on a long sea voyage. Checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. If I can cheat a little bit here and just bump it up a year and get me into high school, I'll say that my vice principal saved my life.
Really?
Saved my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned this person who just kind of saw you and...
Yeah. And I wrote about her. I was asked to write, Richard Pryor's book. His book was reissued and his family asked me to write a little something beforehand. And somewhere in there, I talked about my vice principal because she, as you said, saw me, took an interest, didn't just when I was in trouble or sent to the office, didn't just discipline me and then,
Yeah, she could
shrug
tell
me
something was
off.
going on.
Yeah, she just really took time and investigated what was going on with me, and
Yeah,
it kind of made me realize, like, wow, there was a lot there's a
yeah,
lot going on here. And I haven't talked to her in a couple of years, but we've remained in contact
that's
here
so
and there.
nice.
I feel very, very lucky.
I'm thinking what's coming to my mind is Mrs. Silver, my music and drama teacher, and
Mm.
yeah, I was a wreck in middle school and kind of bullied, but but I had one friend called Laura. we I mean, I had lots of friends, but she and I would get like hysterical laughter fits in a way that I never have since, like where we thought we were gonna die. And there was one day where, first of all, she peed herself in the snow trying to, maybe we'll bleep out her last name, but she was laughing so hard that she sat down in the snow, and I was like, we gotta go, we gotta get to class. We were crying laughing about about nonsense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
And she was like, I can't. And then eventually stood up and there was a yellow patch in the snow. But anyway, that, and then we had to wash
And
her
you didn't
tights.
eat that snow, did you?
I did
Because
not eat that snow.
the people definitely are getting the word out not to eat yellow snow.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
Mm-hmm.
But we
Yeah.
went to music class, and yeah, I was in a lot of trouble all the time, never did my homework, always
Mm-hmm.
getting kicked out or suspended. And
Yeah.
so we were in music class and this hysteria took over and we could not stop. And I always remember Mrs. Silver was like one of the only teachers who found us funny and was like reluctantly disciplining us, but was like found us kind of funny. And
Yeah.
on that particular day, she just went, May and Laura, just go in the hall and laugh until you're done laughing. Like she wasn't mad. She was just like, if you guys need to just go get this out, or you're
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we just went and sat outside the classroom and laughed, and it was just so nice. Carla Silver, we were in touch a little bit, I think a couple emails, but if she's listening, she really was great, like encouraging me to do music and stuff too.
Carla?
Carla
That's nice.
Silver. She was kind of a rebel in the school. Like it was an Anglican private school, and
Mhm.
I don't know, I could tell she was sort of misunderstood. She was a rebel.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Man, we see you, rebels.
We
And
see you.
also, as far as fashion, I think this might have been before your time, but I really don't know. I'm not the one sitting here in a flannel telling anybody about fashion, but were you at the bottom of your jeans or pants, you fold it over and then roll your pants up?
Oh yeah, I mean, I still do that.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How you were rolling?
That was very popular in the 80s to like do that, make it tighter and then flip it over.
I guess my fashion thing was I had long hair in middle school for the only time in my life, and it was slicked back into a ponytail, and then I had two pieces just hanging down, framing my face, and I would put gel in them, and they were like crispy.
Oh, that's a good look.
Should we hear Kamala's answer?
Yeah, we should definitely hear that.
My thing that I took out of those years that was the best was like I made my first like real friends, like friends that I was like, these are my people, finally, like really connected. And I think my personality comes from those friendships in middle school. And bonus answer, I had a beautiful, sweet granola mom who just did not tell me that I needed to be wearing a bra. So I was flopping around for way too long. Looking forward to hearing your answers.
Yeah.
Well, she came to the right two hosts about flopping around.
I didn't wear a bra till I should have been wearing one, and I wore like a crossbody bag, so the strap would go between my pointy little boobs. They would just be, oh god, yeah.
Where are your boobs these days?
Probably near the dumpster that yours are in.
Okay. Well, because mine, they hold on to for tumor reasons. So
do they? No, they don't.
Probably not my full on boobs, but like my tumors are because I have to have these tests done every 6 months or so that can kind of tell the future if I'm going to have a cancer recurrence.
Whoa!
Based on the tumor, the old tumors. So my tits are actually not in a dumpster like we've joked.
They're in a fridge somewhere.
Yeah, they're in a tit fridge.
Tit fridge is pretty good.
Yeah. Do you know where yours go?
I have no
Or
idea.
what?
I hope they burned them. I don't know. Or donated
They're
them
still
to someone.
smoking. Yeah.
I liked what Kamala said about like that's sort of the first time that you really are choosing your friends, because in elementary school you're kind of like friends with the people in your class, and you all have to go to every birthday party, and then middle school you're like more discerning.
Yeah, that's going to be
that.
interesting when my kids start, because already in their school, everybody was friends with everyone, and everyone's pretty much still friends with everyone, but they're starting to really lock into, no, this is my vibe, this person.
Yeah.
What do we got? What's next?
Hi, handsome. I am Nina from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And my question is, do you have any superstitions that you abide by rigorously? If so, where did it come from and who taught you them?
We were just talking about Rio de Janeiro. That is crazy.
Yes. Talk about superstitious. I don't know if this is superstitious. I mean, maybe you can tell me, but Stephanie gives me such a hard time about this. But when she's always the last in bed, and and when she gets in bed, I always ask her to crack the bathroom door a little bit, and crack the bedroom door a little bit. And
why?
And there's it's not superstitious. I guess I'm answering it incorrectly. But
no, it's like that counts kind of. It makes you feel calm.
I feel safe. Like I like it also, I think it originated from not wanting light in when I'm sleeping, and also so the cats can go in and out.
Yeah.
So I like for the doors to be as closed as possible, but so Kitty City can make their rounds into the bathroom, out of the bedroom, and wherever they might need to go.
Yeah.
But with the bedroom door, I like to have a book or something. I guess a book as a doorstop, so the door doesn't, open more, that it just stays cracked enough for a kitty to go in and out.
Okay.
And that way also, I would know if somebody had come into our room at night.
Right.
Because if the door is open and the book has slided back, then somebody has come in that's bigger than a kitty.
Okay, I like that. That counts. I think that's like a sort of habitual thing that you do to feel safe, and like,
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
What about, like, are you walking under ladders and stuff, or what? Or you don't care?
Yeah, I don't care about that stuff. I'll walk under a ladder. I don't you don't walk under a ladder?
No, I'm like,
of course not.
I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not toasting with water either. I'm not cheersing with water. That's bad luck.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. And wow, I didn't know. Why is that bad?
I don't know. Maybe because water is so lame and boring, Tig.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I think it's like, I don't know. Yeah, but also if I see a penny, I'm picking it up, even though that's probably gross. But I have to do my 10 push-ups before every show. That counts. And I kind of say a prayer before every show.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can we know the prayer?
It's different every time, but it's like a pretty earnest moment. It's not to any particular deity, but it's just like a little calm moment. Yeah.
That's nice.
Should we hear what Nina has to say?
Yes, please.
Mine is that I cannot drink the water that is by my bedside. So if I wake up in the morning and there is still some water left from the evening before, it has to go to my plants or to my cats, because it absorbed all of my dreams or nightmares from that night. Honestly, I do not remember being taught that. I think I invented it. But it is a strict rule for me. No dream water ever. Okay,
Dream water.
Bye. I love listening to you guys. Come to Brazil someday.
Oh, we have to go to Brazil and see Nina.
I would love to. And also that there's more and more studies about water having a memory,
Mm,
like when being able to be a kind of conduit, like
interesting.
yeah, like what people who are freezing water
Mm-hmm.
and with a thought or an intention, and then looking under a microscope and it's formed a picture of what they were thinking or talking about. I don't know. It's water's crazy.
Where'd you hear about this?
Well, word on the street. Oh, thanks, Nina.
Yes, Nina. And listeners, don't forget to submit your questions. If you have one, don't be shy. Submit it to speakpipe.com/handsomepod. We love hearing from you. We love the handsome community, and we want to build it. So tell your friends. And thanks for being such a great crew. Truly.
Angels.
Yes. Real
Yeah.
angels. And I don't know. Until next time, what do you say? We just we should
Probably just keep it pretty handsome.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check that you remember to inflate your bike tires before hitting the trails for an extreme mountain biking session, or a leisurely cycle through the wildflower fields, depending on your preference. Checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
That was a HeadGum podcast.